What is so scary about economic bubbles? Lately, everyone is talking about the AI bubble. You've probably seen the debates online, passionate arguments both for and against it. But even though many experts agree we are witnessing a bubble, some still refuse to believe it. Why does this topic generate so much confusion? Before we dive deep, let's define what an economic bubble actually is. An economic bubble happens when the price of an asset skyrockets far beyond its intrinsic value. Imagine the price of a teddy bear suddenly goes crazy because a major influencer spoke about it. Despite how much people love the plushie, it simply isn't worth the price of a car. Eventually, the price crashes and everyone involved suddenly can't afford a single pickle. But why does this happen? To understand that, we need to look at the 5 stages of a bubble, based on the work of economist Hyman Minsky. Displacement. The new teddy bear that emerges is 100 times cuter and softer. Teddy bear lovers are going insane, and even the haters are convinced of the bear's supremacy, so everyone is buying like crazy. The boom. Now that a large amount of people are buying, the prices are inflating. Every social media platform is flooded with teddy bears, which start to catch the attention of even the people who never thought of a plushie in their lives, and the investors are coming like it's free money. Euphoria. Any trace of caution is in the past. This time will be different. The price skyrockets to the moon. Companies are showing the best results, and people sell their belongings to enter this new beautiful business. Even if some info is suspicious, people don't care. They're blind with excitement. Profit-taking. The smart money starts to see that the price won't go up more than this and recognizes the unsustainability, beginning to sell assets to lock in profits, signaling the bubble's peak. Panic. A trigger event causes prices to fall, leading to rapid selling, forced liquidations, margin calls, and a systemic collapse as debt becomes unserviceable, known as the Minsky moment. Interestingly, Minsky was largely ignored during his life, only gaining mainstream recognition after the 2008 crisis, much like a bubble that is only recognized once it's too late. So if the people don't fall for this, they won't be affected? Well, that is another scary part of the bubbles. Even if you take the most distance possible of the situation, you can be affected really hard when it explodes. Let's take, for example, the 2008 crash, which happened due to the crisis of the gigantic real estate bubble of the time. When the major American banks began to collapse, no bank in the world wanted to lend money to anyone, not to other banks, not to businesses, not to individuals. So small and medium-sized businesses that depended on loans to pay suppliers or salaries lost access to capital. Many went bankrupt, even though they were healthy businesses, simply because the money stopped circulating. Because of that, factories around the world, especially in exporting countries like China and Germany, have had to reduce production. This has generated a global wave of layoffs. Someone who worked in a car parts factory in Brazil lost his job because an American could no longer get credit to finance a vehicle. The governments have had to cut spending in essential areas, such as health, education, and infrastructure, to avoid state bankruptcy. Many countries have adopted austerity measures, affecting those who depend on public services. People who had worked their entire lives and were about to retire saw the value of their funds drop by 30%, 40%, or 50% in just a few months. The dream of retirement was postponed for millions of workers who never knew what an economic bubble even means. This caused the dollar to rise rapidly. Since many basic goods are priced in dollars, prices in supermarkets increased, eroding the purchasing power of those earning in local currency. Now you have a glimpse of what a bubble really can cause when it explodes. You may think, how do people let it get to this point? Well, this question is a little sneaky. It's not simple to tell 100% for sure if a situation is or not a bubble. Every bubble is born from a real base of innovation or economic change, like the internet in the 90s or AI today.
The problem is that during the rise, enthusiasts create compelling narratives that old evaluation models no longer apply. Is the price high because it's a bubble, or because we're experiencing a paradigm shift that justifies these new prices? To say that something is inflated, you need to know its intrinsic value, its true and fair price. However, calculating this involves predicting the future, profits, dividends, and interest rates decades ahead. If analysts disagree on the true value of a company or property, it is impossible to reach a consensus on whether the current price is a speculative exaggeration or merely a reflection of optimistic but plausible expectations. Some renowned economists, such as Nobel laureate Eugene Fama, argue that bubbles don't even exist in the way we describe them. According to this school of thought, prices always reflect all available information. If prices fall drastically afterwards, it's because the information has changed, not because the market was crazy before. Identifying a bubble too early can be just as damaging to an investor or manager as not identifying it at all. If a fund manager leaves the market because they believe there's a bubble, but prices continue to rise for another 3 years, as happened in the late 1990s, they lose clients and could be fired. This creates an incentive to stay in the market as long as the music is playing, even if they suspect the risk. Now you know for what this topic have been so discussed. People have an idea that AI is a bubble, but to tell 100% for sure isn't an easy task, and sadly, only in the future we will know what we are really witnessing. But some bad influences from the AI in the economic side are already happening. Prices for memory, SSDs, and HDs have increased significantly due to a combination of high demand and limited supply, driven primarily by the boom in artificial intelligence. Training and maintaining large programming language models consumes immense amounts of electricity and water for server cooling, which overburdens technological sustainability goals. The development of AI requires immense computing power and gigantic databases. This favors a handful of tech giants, making it difficult for small businesses to survive and reducing competitiveness in the global market. Countries that rely on low-cost labor for services and manufacturing may lose their competitive advantage to automation in developed countries, widening the global economic gap. Even though it's a great tool, AI still has a long way to go before reaching a state where its drawbacks have been significantly reduced so that its qualities can be better utilized. But I hope this video has added something useful to your knowledge. Thanks all of you for watching.